Hey guys, here today working on my food preps, and I normally like to keep my camper stocked up with about a 30-day supply of food for me and my family. We went on several camping trips here recently, and I had to unload everything, and I was just working on loading everything back up, and I got to thinking about food storage and some of the simple errors that people make when they go to supplying or trying to stock up food. And one of my friends came to mind. He's an older guy, and I had been talking to him about the state of the country and you know, the need for us to prepare, and he pretty much agreed with me. And here a while back I was at his house, and he said, "Come here, I want to show you something." And went in, and he had been to one of these discount food stores, and he had bought several thousand, not hundreds, but several thousand cans of green beans. And you know, he had run up on a super deal, and he got a good deal, but man, it's all green beans. And he made just about every mistake that you can make when stocking food. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk with you today about. You know, first of all, he bought food that he didn't really eat a lot of. You know, I got to talking to the guy, and he don't even like green beans all that much. And when he does eat green beans, he only likes the green beans that his wife picks out of the garden and pressure cooks and cans herself. So, you know, he bought a food that he never eats. And you don't do that when you're prepping. You know, when you're buying food to store it, buy food that you normally eat. Don't just buy stuff, some off-brand food product, just because it's cheap, because it's going to wind up laying there and going to waste. You know, if you normally eat, let's just say, for instance, 1 jar of peanut butter a week, you know, that's fine. If you want a 3-month supply, go out and buy 12 to 14 jars of peanut butter. You know, you got a 3-month supply. You know, do that with everything. Black-eyed peas or spaghetti or whatever you normally eat. Just figure up what a serving size is and do the math. And that's how you store canned goods. You know, don't go out and just buy something. The next thing he does, he only bought one food. I know guys out here that has went out and bought, you know, 1 or 2 tons of rice. Rice is a good prepper food, but I could not imagine having to eat it every single day, you know, for 3 or 4 or 5 months. I mean, if you think that would be easy, pick out any food. Don't really matter what it is. Just pick out a food and eat it every single meal for a month. And you know, after about a week, you'll be so tired of it, you won't really care if you live or not. And you need to have variety in your food preparations. You need to have some canned goods. I like to have about a 3-month supply of just canned goods. I like to have, you know, I probably got a year supply of long-term food items, like, you know, flour and rice and beans that I've went and bought and put into Mylar bags. Stuff that I've went to the canneries and bought, the Mormon canneries. That's, you know, 25, 30 years. And then I like to have some of the Mountain House meals like you're looking at here on this film. This is what I keep in my camper because it's lightweight, has a long shelf life. It don't take a lot of energy to prepare it. It's got a good taste, and it's good in calories, which is our next area that this guy fell miserably in when he went and bought these several thousand cans of green beans. Folks, you've got to look at the nutritional value of the food you're buying. You know, you look at a can of green beans that you go to the grocery store and buy, it's got about 20 calories per serving. There's about 3.5 servings per can. That gives you 70 calories per can of green beans. An average man that's 200 pounds, well, that's how big men grow where I'm from anyway, about 200-pound man needs about 2,400 calories a day to maintain his weight. You know, do the math. You're eating over 30 cans of green beans a day just to maintain your weight. After about 4 or 5 days, you're not really going to care if you make it or not. I mean, you can't just do that. You've got to look at the nutritional value and make sure your calorie count's up there, that you're getting what you need and the right nutrients and vitamins to keep you going. Another thing that you need to keep in mind on food storage, there's a lot of these power bars and energy bars going around and emergency bars. I don't stock many of those. I have a few in my fanny packs and stuff. But if you buy something like that you don't normally eat, when you buy one, eat it. Because they may be a food product in there that you're allergic to. And I had much rather have an allergic reaction now while the hospitals are open and I can go to the ER or call 911 than after everything falls apart and I'm relying on this to survive and I take a bite of it and it winds up killing me. So there's a lot of things to consider when you're storing food. But I would advise everybody, if you're looking at storing food, start off with canned goods. The stuff you normally eat. I don't know what you eat. Cereals. If you normally go through a box of Cocoa Puffs a week, do the math and go buy you 12, 13, 14 boxes of Cocoa Puffs. You've got a 3-month supply. Go buy you a 3-month supply of a powdered milk. You've got breakfast for 3 months. Whatever you eat, and then have a way to prepare it. Some things, like we eat a lot of spaghetti. We can buy the noodles, we can buy the sauce, but we really didn't want to store a bunch of frozen hamburger meat because if we lost power or something, we wouldn't be able to keep it. So my wife got on the internet. She found out a way to preserve cooked hamburger meat. So, she cooks a mess of hamburger meat every once in a while, cans it, puts it in the pressure cooker, and all we have to do is open it up and warm it up. We have spaghetti, and we use it a lot. It's real handy when you come in after a hard day of work, and you don't have to go through the hassle of really cooking anything from scratch. You just open a can of meat that's already been cooked and dump it in some sauce, warm it up, and you've got a good spaghetti meal that night. So that's my thoughts on preparing for food. What you're looking at right here, turn around here, this is inside my camper. What you're looking at right here, this basket, these few boxes, right there is about 210,000 calories of Mountain House meals. That'll do my family for 30 days. And that's another thing I wanted to bring to your attention. I was talking about the green beans a few minutes ago, about the calorie count. That's the only way to know exactly how much food you have is to count your calories. Normally for a man, it's about 11 to 12 calories per pound per day. For a woman, it's about 10 or 11. And I figure for me, my wife, and my 2 kids, we need about 7,000 calories a day to maintain production and remain healthy. And so that's kind of what I base it on. This would last on upwards of a couple of months if we really cut down to emergency rationing. But this is a 30-day supply, keep us healthy, and we could eat real good. So just something to think about, and let me know what you think, and God bless you, and I'll see you later.